Knowing what I know now, I would have went harder. Is this sentence correct or incorrect? Well, as you must have already implied, this video is a set of exercises that we are going to go through. Incorrect sentences that we will correct step by step. I will show you the process of correcting them. And this video, together with the book that is linked in the description box below, with that book you will never hesitate between different verb forms that you should add to the auxiliary to form a correct perfect tense. So the book is linked in the description box below, and we'll go through the exercises first. I wrote this book to help you master English perfect tenses. Either you or people you know who make perfect tense errors, this book is written to help you. Even very well-educated people make this mistake. So that's the reason I wrote the book, to serve everybody. Anybody who makes that mistake need to read this book. It's a short book. It's about 50 pages. You can read it and do the exercises just in a couple of hours one morning. And that's it. You get rid of the error. You keep the book in your library. You go back to it as a reference whenever you need it. Before we start our language lab, here is the book I wrote to help you or people you know who make such an error get rid of the perfect tense error forever. This is the only resource you need to do so. Perfecting Your Tenses, a quick guide to mastering English perfect tenses for busy professionals, executive, media personalities, politicians. People from all walks of life makes that error. And the link to the book will be found in the description box below. All these sentences are grammatically incorrect. In this language lab, we're going to look at them one at a time and correct them. So it's a language lab to help everybody master English perfect tenses. Okay? All kinds of people, business people, executive, politicians, teachers, lawyers. I've heard a lot of people make that mistake. That's why I wrote the book. But let's go through the language lab first, and then that will help you realize the need to read the book. And the book is linked in the description box below. So one at a time, we'll correct these sentences. I'll show you the process. Have you already ate lunch? What's the main verb here? The main verb is to eat. Have ate. To eat is the main verb. My friend and I have drove from Atlanta to San Diego. Have drove. What's the main verb? To drive. She has already took her medicine. What's the main verb? To take. I have went with my gut. What's the main verb? To go. In have went, the main verb is to go. My colleague and I have wrote the report. Have wrote. What's the main verb? To write. She must have did something to her or to him. What's the main verb? To do. So all these sentences are incorrect. One at a time, we'll correct them. So here is the list of the incorrectly conjugated verb that we have seen earlier. Okay, this is about eight verbs, and there are more than 30 other verbs that give headache, irregular verbs that give headache to a lot of people. Okay, there are at least 5 or 6 score of irregular verbs, but there are about 40 of them that give headache. Okay, among those 40, here is just 8 of them. There are more than 30 other verbs that give headache. Okay, in most grammar book, you'll find 3 columns. One column is for the infinitive. We'll see the other columns later. Did, drove, ate, went, knew, saw, took, wrote. What's the tense of all these verbs? This is a verb form. What's the tense here? It's the simple past tense. Okay, and this is the second column in most grammar books. Okay, describing irregular verbs. Okay, these are just about 8 verbs, and there are more than 5 or 6 scores of irregular verbs. About 40 of them give headache to a lot of people. Okay, so we're going to see these 8 here, but in the book I wrote, you'll find the other more than 30 other irregular verbs that give headache to a lot of people. So watching this video and reading that book will be very helpful to you or to people you know who make that error to get rid of the error forever. It's a book you can read in about 2 hours one morning, but you keep it as a reference book to go back to until you get into the habit of completely avoiding the error. Done, driven, eaten, gone, known, seen, taken, written. What's the verb forms of all these verbs? What's the verb form here? Okay, this is simple past, and this is infinitive. Usually in the third column, what do we have? We have the past participles. All these verbs are past participle. Okay, this is just about 8 verbs out of 40 that give headache to a lot of people. Here is a quick note here. To know and to see are not discussed in this very video. In the previous language lab, the first part of the language lab to help people master English perfect tenses, we have discussed many other verbs and many other sentences. And to know and to see are included in that part of the language lab in the first video. Thou shalt not hesitate between have ate and have eaten. This is the first part of the language lab. In this video, we have discussed to know and to see. So if you are interested in finding more sentences about perfect tense sentences or examples, you can watch that video. After looking at those verb forms, the 3 different verb forms, infinitive, simple past, and past participle, let's look at the mechanics of perfect tense construction. Okay, to build a perfect tense, to construct a perfect tense, what do you add to the auxiliary or the modal auxiliary? Auxiliary, for instance, I have done, have is auxiliary. I would have done, would have is the modal auxiliary. Okay, what do you add? What verb form of the main verb do you add? What form? Do you add the infinitive? Do you add the simple past? Or you add the past participle? Okay, I can tell you, you add the past participle. It is only the past participle that you can add. It will never be correct if you add the simple past to the auxiliary or modal auxiliary. Okay, so but people's error is not limited to not knowing the past participle. I mean, a lot of people know that they're supposed to add the past participle. The problem arises when you get confused between what is past participle and what is a simple past. Okay, so here in our examples we have only eight verbs, and there are more than 30 other verbs that give headache. You will find all of them in the book. So by reading this book, you will get rid of that error forever. And that's the only book that can help you do that so far. So far, have you learned anything from this video? If you have, please like it and share it with friends and family members. Also consider subscribing so as you will be notified whenever we create more content for you. Thank you. After we have reviewed the different verb forms, the 3 columns, and also the different ways of constructing English perfect tenses, now it's time to look at our examples one at a time. Based on what we have discussed so far, what's the verb form that's supposed to be here? Have you already ate lunch is incorrect. So what's the correct verb form that's supposed to be here? Okay, are we supposed to have a simple past or a past participle? Okay, are we supposed to have you already ate or have you already eaten? Okay, so the answer is next. So this is the time already for you to have a piece of paper to start taking notes, because that's the only way you will learn and retain. Eaten. Have you already eaten lunch? That's the correct answer, eaten. So this is the past participle of the verb to eat. Okay, you should never have ate in this spot. It doesn't fit. It's only past participle that fits this spot. What's the past participle of to drive? The past participle of to drive. Is it drove or driven? Driven. Okay. My friend and I have driven from Atlanta to San Diego. She has already took her medicine. Took. Wrong. What's the correct verb form that's supposed to be here? Taken. She has already taken her medicine. So far, have you learned anything from this video? If you have, please like it and share it with friends and family members. Also consider subscribing so as you will be notified whenever we create more content for you. Thank you. I have went with my gut. Have went. Wrong. What's the correct form here? Gone. I have gone with my gut. Have wrote. Wrong. What's the correct form here? What's the correct verb form that's supposed to fit in this spot here? Written. My colleague and I have written the report. She must have did something to him or her. Have did. Wrong. What's the correct form here? Done. Have done. She must have done something to him or her. Recap. Knowing what I know now, I would have went harder. Went. Is went supposed to be here? Is this sentence correct or incorrect? Went is what? Which verb form is went? Is it a past participle or a simple past? The correct verb form is gone. Knowing what I know now, I will have gone harder. So the answer to these questions and more questions will be found in the book. So read the book, buy the book, read it, grab your copy by checking the link inside the description box. It will take you directly to where you can buy the books, and that will help you. And you can pass on the book as a gift to friends and relatives, so as to help them get rid of the perfect tense error and speak grammatically correct perfect tense. Thou shalt not hesitate between have ate and have eaten. From now on, you know you will never say again have ate, have drove, have took, have went, have wrote. So all these are wrong, wrong, So never again say them. If you were ever confused between this and this, you know this is incorrect. All these are incorrect, and your only choice is to use past participle with the auxiliary or modal auxiliary. So this is just about 5 verbs, and there are around 40 of them that give headache. Around 40 irregular verbs that give headache. There are more than 5 or 6 scores of irregular verbs, but about 40 of them give headache to a lot of people. So with this video, with this language lab, and with the book that you'll find in the description box below, you will never again hesitate between these verb forms, because you're getting confused between simple past verb form and past participle verb form. And this is the only resource that will help you get rid of that error forever. If you have learned something from this language lab, please like the video and share it with your friends who might need it as well. And consider subscribing to the channel so as we can get you notified every time we create a content on the channel. Thank you very much. Beyond those few examples, this book has everything you need to get rid of that error forever. Grab your copy today by clicking on the link inside the description box below. Thank you for participating in this language lab with me. This book can also be a perfect gift to your friends and family members. So grab a copy today by clicking on the link inside the description box below. Thank you very much, and I look forward to sharing more content with you.